and welcome everybody to our podcast. This is Welcome to Livingston, where we talk all about Livingston County and the small businesses within it. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals.
Yeah, and we are so excited about our episode today. We have on with us from the Dragonfly Emporium, Kelly Lyczkowski.
Close enough.
Close enough?
Close enough.
I was trying.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, with your last name too.
Right.
It's Lyczkowski.
Lyczkowski.
But even that's been watered down.
It's all good. Well, welcome, Kelly. We're excited to have you. And you have the cutest shop. We were excited to have you on the podcast when we did the Witches Night Out. But we didn't really get a chance to delve into your store. And so this is nice to have you back to really focus in on Dragonfly Emporium.
I appreciate it. It's exciting to talk about all the stuff that's going on and how we've grown and what we're going to do forward.
Excellent. Very good. And I didn't even have this on my question list, but how did you name it?
I've always loved dragonflies. I've always loved dragonflies. And I always was fascinated by how large they are, but yet they fly and they go up and down and sideways, and it's very unusual, in flight pattern. And I just looked them up, and then they represent everything that anybody wants. They represent longevity and rebuilding yourself and, renewal and innovation, like all those words that, you hope to aspire to. And plus they've been around, they're prehistoric.
Yeah, they've been around since dinosaurs, right?
Yes, and they used to have a 2-foot wingspan.
Oh my gosh!
So one of the banners that we have in our store have dragonflies on them that have a 2-foot wingspan. So I always tell little kids that, like, look, that's what they used to look like, and they're always just amazed. And I'm like, can you imagine them just buzzing by you? And so I just loved it.
Wow. That is so cool. And I love the name because, with any downtown area and such, if you're on vacation or when we're walking around looking at shops, you have the type of name of like, yeah, I have to go in there and see what that's about.
And with the dragonfly part, we looked up and doing different types of mercantile, just all the different vernacular of that. And then an emporium is a conglomeration of many, many things. And so we weren't going to be like stifled into, what we sell by what we put in there, And so emporium was this like, well, welcome to the emporium, because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, very neat. And you're right there in downtown Howell, and, in terms of, and so then you sell all kinds of things. Like what do you consider, your shop?
I always consider my shop to be something that everybody wants to go to. And I know that everybody says that, but I work really hard to make sure there's a little bit for children. There's home decor. There's gifts for every age group. And there's gifts for men as well, because a lot of stores, it's either a men's store or a woman's store. And I didn't want it just to be one set thing. I wanted the guys to come in and go, whoa, this is cool, and I want this, and and so we get a lot of men that are excited about how they're going to decorate and have their stamp on their homes and their offices and things like that. So we sell everything. I should say.
Yeah.
But,
And I know when I met your husband at the store, I mean, it's neat because you can see he has a lot of enthusiasm too. So I imagine you guys working together.
He does. He's my biggest cheerleader as far as that goes. And he knows how hard we work on it. And, there's sacrifices to owning your own business, as you guys know. And he's always there. Do you want me to go in? Do you want me to help out today? And we have a banter because he comes in on Sundays. Sundays is he and I, and sometimes we'll go out to lunch afterwards or run errands, and it's our day to run the store and he loves to be a part of the community too, because once, we have certain customers that come in every Sunday. And so it's like, hey, how'd that go? Did you get your car fixed? And it's the banter is the part that Alan likes.
Nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, very small town. That's one of the things we love so much about Livingston County and Howell and so forth. So great. So the holiday season is upon us. So
it is here.
I wanted to get into what types of merchandise you sell. You say, who it appeals to, but.
Well, we have 4 different soap lines. We have soap that comes out of North Carolina and then soap that comes out of France. So we don't ever like we find the best products we can and the coolest products we can, and it's all over the world. We have a toy line. The majority of our toys come out of the UK. They're creative in there's games and puzzles and a lot of they're vintage toys. Like we have Tiddlywinks and one of our hottest sellers is of course the whoopee cushion, because we want to make people laugh, and it brings back the nostalgia for the parent or the grandparent to buy things. And so we just, I don't sleep a lot, so I spend a lot of time online looking for new products and what can we carry. And, you say, oh, this soap line isn't working, or the price isn't going to work for my customers. And you just go down that rabbit hole of 5,000 types of soap, and what do you want to?
Well, and you had mentioned the home decor
Yes.
and stuff too. One of the things I was so excited to find, so when I was there, Witches Night, and so many cool different products. Spoiler alert, hopefully family members that I bought this for aren't listening. But there were cups, so they were kind of like nice metal cups, but it had etched on it the wrong song lyrics.
There are Merriweather misunderstood lyrics. And honestly, it's probably one of my most favorite things that we've ever bought, because it's just, songs that we all know, Elton John and
Hold Me Close, Tony Danza.
Yes. And instead of Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer, people hear Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. And so that's on these metal tumblers, and you hear people singing them. Right. You hear them arguing with their friends. You hear them saying, I told you that's what I thought it was, because they think they're all alone in there hearing it like that. Right. And then someone nails them on it, and they're like, listen, they make these cups that literally say sweet dreams are made of cheese. Yeah. And, and so people just absolutely adore those. And then they sing them, and you can hear them laughing. And that makes you happy, because you're like, oh, they get it. They get how cool this cup is.
Oh, that's so much fun.
And there's one, instead of knocking on heaven's door, it's knocking on Kevin's door. And apparently there's a ton of people named Kevin that are going to get this for Christmas. So if your name's Kevin, just smile. You'll be excited.
Yeah.
That is so cool, all the different things. And I wanted to go back to the toys for a second, because I got to go in and check that out, because you say from the UK, and a lot of people don't realize, like in the UK, the toys, they are kind of vintage, and they are different, because we went to a toy store when we were in London a number of years ago.
Henley's, right?
It was shocking how different and how like hands-on.
Well, I think they're definitely, I in my thought process, I feel like they're still trying to keep the kids.
Yes.
And it's about like engaging their brain, and it's about like, what can you build and what can you, so, most of the toys are wood and magnets and, dress up dolls that are wood with big, wood particle board like type cutouts that you can put on and dress your dog up and dress the princesses up and things like that. So it's just getting their imaginations going, besides more of an electronic alternative.
Right.
And
or cheap plastic, right?
Right.
Correct. That novelty of the plasticky, toys, they're a lot cheaper, of course, but they're never going to last. Like, these are heirloom things sometimes.
Right, yeah. And they're interactive, which I think
definitely,
is awesome.
Definitely. And we've seen a huge intake, I think, with COVID, like people were home so much, like games, what's going to keep them busy? What can they do artistically? What's engaging those little engineer brains and building stuff that they're going to enjoy.
Right. Yeah. No, and that is so cool, because you have all those types of items that you don't get at Target or, those big box places.
And that's what you want. That's the difference between us and the box stores. Yes, you might pay a little bit more, but you're paying for something that's going to be a good quality item, something that you're not going to see. And that I don't know how many times people say, oh, I've never seen this before. And that's cool, because that's what you want. Because if you hear all the time, oh, she already has that, or that's the same as this, then you're not making anybody happy that way.
Right.
Fresh ideas, right?
100%.
Which, as we're out shopping for the holidays and Christmas, and it's like, I don't know what to get for so-and-so, you're a great shop for that, because something can just, like I said, I wasn't walking in to buy a gift for that person. But when I saw it, it was like, okay, now I'm a little farther ahead on Christmas this year.
That's my evil plan, is to take over one Christmas holiday at a time where everybody's going to be super excited, and like, because we all have those people that are so hard to buy for.
Right.
And you rack your brain and it becomes unfun. But when you come in and someone sees, we carry home decor as well, and we carry kitchen items. And one of the things we have is, it's a teacup, and it's built in, and it's a beautiful ceramic teacup, and it's built in, and you can put your tea bag there. But I don't drink tea, but I do drink coffee. And so we put little Biscoff cookies in there. And so people are loving the fact, they're like, oh, this is for the coffee drinker too, and the tea drinker. And, it's trying to figure out different things that people want. Because, I mean, we have candles, we have all these blankets and pillows, and we have the home decor for Christmas or for the season, but we have a lot of stuff, especially the artificial silks. I've been a florist, or in the florist world, for 32 years. I was 14 when I started. And then I got my degree in retail marketing and floriculture at Michigan State. So our thing was, what can set us apart is the fact that I'm a florist and I do the retail aspect, and I love buying gifts and I love coming up with what people are going to do, but we can also do custom. We've done weddings, I'm wreaths and centerpieces, and, making up all sorts of different types of bouquets. And a lot of people want to do it themselves too. And we have a huge selection of greeneries and, things for Christmas and every day as well. But we're hopefully become known as the place to go get those, because people want to build their own. They want to make their own Christmas wreath, or work with their family and do it.
What a cool idea.
Well, it's a joy for me because I get all excited and then, I can spend anybody else's money like nobody's business. And so they'll say, this is my idea. What do I do? And then we can come up with different ways of doing it and work with them.
Neat. Very cool. Very cool. How long does it take to create?
I'm a very fast designer. And I had a boss that told me it was a good thing that, my hands worked as fast as my mouth, and which is true. So I'm a really fast designer because I've been doing it for 32 years. It's been a long time. You start out making boutonnieres and, making bows and things like that. And then you go on up to wedding work and things like that. So it's like, to me, it's like a little formula in my head, so I'm really fast with it. But a general arrangement, tabletop, maybe 40 minutes.
It's not bad at all.
No.
Wow.
And sometimes there are days where it takes a lot longer because I have to go ring someone up and, I need to unload this pallet and this needs to go back here. And then I'll come back and do some more. So it just depends. I try to stay focused when I'm doing custom work.
Now, what other items are items that people will be surprised that you carry?
Well, that's a good question. I think, the toy section always takes them by surprise. I have what I call the shenanigans section. And, you have, your kitchen and your linen aspect, and you have your stores like segmented and divided up, a section for like everybody. We have a ton of really cool games. Like we just started carrying murder mystery games, and you can plan a party and it tells you what kind of food you could possibly, cook for everyone. It lets you assign characters to people.
Wow.
And people love that. And then we have a line of murder puzzles where you have to put together the puzzle and read the little book that comes with it and solve the murder through the puzzle. And so I think a lot of people are like, oh, this game would be so much fun, because people are spending time with each other, and especially around the holidays. You got to find something to keep your family busy, or they're going to drive you nuts.
There you go.
This is fair too, for sure. So in terms of your website, is it just directing to the store? Are there products? Is there anything special you're doing?
Our website, we keep up to date on everything. We don't have the buying platform. I can turn it on and off. I turned it off after COVID. Well, we're still going through COVID, but after the shutdowns, and we were able to go back to capacity, because people want to come in and it is very difficult. I don't even know how many different SKUs we have. Thousands and thousands of SKUs, and it's so much harder to get people to see like that silk flower online and then to know how big it is and how impressive it is. So it's a buying website isn't what we want, what we set out to do, because we really want them to come in so that I can help them and say, oh, if you add this in, look how much richer it looks, or, kind of helping them a little bit more than just, you can just go on buy online, and they have to smell those candles. They have to smell the lotions and the soaps that we have, and feel the scarves that are like soft like cashmere. They need to feel it. So I hate the online aspect. I will do it if I have to, but I like talking to people, and I want to know when they come in that how their mom's doing, and then like, oh, did you like the smell of that candle? Do you want to do something different this time, and guide them to what they're going to be happy with.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. So what are some of the interesting things that you've seen or that you've sold? Or
interesting things we've seen and sold? There's been a lot. Sometimes customers come up and they surprise me with how they come up with things. And, we have the soaps and the lotions, but how they'll come together and say how they're going to put it together, like in a little gift basket and things, or how they put something on the counter and they're starting to build this theme gift. And I was like, I would have never thought to put that together. And they come up with some really, really interesting things. Ornaments this year. I mean, we like to sell a traditional, it's a German Kugel style ornament with it's a soldered top onto it, instead of the little spring ones. So we have people that come in because they know we've been carrying them for 5 years. And, I need this color, and this is so cool looking. And, do you have this in this color? And I'll say no, but I'm going to look for it, for next year. That would be a pretty color to add to everybody's trees. And they come in and they buy, some people have the ritual where it's everybody gets an ornament that year. And watching them, and it's not necessarily about, you're into gymnastics, so this is a gymnastics ornament. We're more of the classic ornaments that they will have on their tree when they're 60 and long past the gymnastics phase.
This is true.
So something that will make them smile and make them laugh, and, that kind of stuff. But Christmas, people are coming in with lists. They're ready. Sometimes they'll ask for a pen and piece of paper because they left the list at home, and then they need to
recreate the list.
Yes, because this will be their first time in, and they didn't know we had so many different products and so many different people that they could take care of, and so they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, let me see. I need this, this, and this, and this," and then they can kind of go off into each section and find what works for them. But I definitely think men come in. They want to find that gift, and we had a gentleman that was in the other day, and we know his wife, she's a regular customer. He's like, what did she see? What does she like? And then I can kind of go, oh, let's fix your Christmas up. Let's get this all done. And they're always so happy, to knock those lists off. And then, and especially for me, if they can say, I found everything I needed, I'm done. We of course, feeling. We razz them because, it's, not even December 1st and you're already done with your list. Wait a minute, how organized are you? So we give them a little trouble for that, but they're always happy and gloaty. So It's okay.
Makes it nice. But I love that it's just so different. The items that you find there at your store aren't things that you just spot anywhere. And so in terms of just really allowing you to be creative and come up with, wait a minute, I do need to buy for so-and-so that I hadn't even remembered I had on my list, because nothing's better than the gift that says, I thought of you.
Yes.
Not just, I needed a gift, and so I bought this, and that works, And
I think
the thoughtful side.
We all know Christmas is hard, and we all know that, coming up with that perfect thing is difficult. So if I can help figure it out, I'll ask us, with the children's section, what age are they into? Okay, they like dinosaurs. Okay, this, and this, trying to pick out 5 different price ranges for them so they can fit it within their budget and what they want to do, or the gag gifts, that people give. We're a great place for little tiny odds and ends, funny things. And, I want them to know that they can come here and they can get what they want within a price range that they want, or I can guide them to where else they could go if I don't have something that they need.
You mentioned that a lot of the stores down there
yes.
direct business from one of the stores to another. And
100%, because I don't carry everything. I'd like to think I do, and in my head I feel like I do, but I'm not carrying high-end jewelry, so I have to say, these are the places you can go. Go to Silverstone Jewelry. She's got great stuff. This is what I bought from her because I'm usually wearing stuff from her. And, what are you looking for in like the teen group, maybe they want to get some cool crystals and I can send them to Coco Pelli's. I have to know what everybody carries to a certain extent so I can say, I don't have that, but they do.
Right.
And they do the same thing for me too, which is great. They'll say, they said, come on down here and you had this. And I said, oh, right over here. You have to work as that collaborative.
Exactly. That's very service-minded.
It's very Miracle on 31st.
Yeah, I love that.
Howell's pretty Hallmark-like sometimes.
Very much so,
I
yes.
mean, we have a beautiful, downtown, and, especially because we do the fun stuff. Like there's a window decorating contest, a storefront window decorating contest that you can be a part of. And, it's not competitive and no one's, taking out people's lights or anything like that. So in that way, it is very Hallmarky because, once it starts to get pretty and people are walking around with hot chocolates and, that's pretty postcard worthy, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. For sure. So, yeah.
So how did you end up in downtown Howell then?
Well, that was a journey, yeah, because I grew up in Howell in Fowlerville, and then I married an East Detroit guy, and and so I've brought him as far as I can get him, west as I could, and we ended up settling in South Lyon. So I looked at South Lyon, I looked into Brighton, and it's always timing. It's always timing because honestly, the building, my mom was in town and she's like, hey, there's a building available. And she's like, come on over. So I, grab my girls, we get in the car and there's the building. And literally we leased the building and we're ready to do everything within 4 months.
Wow.
So in 4 months, because I had already been prepping, I just needed the space.
Right.
And I was so thankful to end up in Howell because you never know. You're like, oh, that other building was so great. Or, did I make a mistake? But I've never had that. I've always been like, ooh, I dodged a bullet on that one and did not get into an area that wouldn't sustain us or help us. And Howell's amazing in that regard because they're excited to have storefronts that look beautiful and have different things. So they come in and they shop and they have a good time and they'll say, what's next? Or they'll say, so, it's funny, after Halloween, you start getting asked, when's Christmas coming, and it's like, I have to have the calendar ready for people because they're excited for what's next.
Yeah. So speaking of, what's your favorite part about Livingston?
Oh, that's a good question. I love that it's small enough, yet big enough that I can find the things that I want. I can shop in the places that I want. I can eat in the restaurants I want, but it's still small enough that someone from high school will come into my store or that this person, I used to babysit their kids. So there's this wonderful, we're big, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're
a small town.
It is. And it's like, when you think about all the different events we have or the fact that we all care about each other, in regards to, I had a customer and she's been sick. And so I can send her stuff and she's a part of our family, even though she's a customer, because I've reached out and I've said, I know you're not feeling well. And so this is going to make you feel better. And then they appreciate it. And so it brings everything full circle is that if you're nice and you're making someone feel special, they just come back and,
There's a good business case for it, just that connectivity.
Yes. And we are. And, it's funny because we'll text on events and if you have time and it's available, you're like, hey, I ran out of this, and it's like, do you want me to send somebody over? And you can do that and you can say, oh my gosh, I'm totally overwhelmed. Like we're going to need more people next year. And we kind of talk about all of that aspect. We'll meet for breakfast and I'll say, whoa, that event was crazy. And,
Mm-hmm.
how do we do it differently? And what could we make it better?
Absolutely.
We're always evolving as a downtown and as a business. I mean, I do that on my own, even what sold really well this year and what were people thinking was strange, and I went way too far on it or something. And just kind of keep going and keep trying to change it up so people don't know what to expect.
Right. And Howell has grown so much in the downtown. I mean, with the new murals they've had in the last 5 years are amazing. And then we were at the Fantasy of Lights. I was shocked at how many runners we had this year.
I know.
I was just, they just kept coming and coming. I was like, wow.
And I'm always impressed with the outfits. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you chose, that you can run with little battery operated packs tied on you somehow. And
for a 5K, like
for
not
a 5K.
just a mile.
No,
it's a healthy run.
You're committing to that. And you've got these lights flashing and bouncing. And sometimes there's tutus. There's also elf hats. I'm like, you're going to get so hot at the end of this. So, yeah, I mean, I think people like that, they're those runners get out there and I think it makes it fun. People are cheering them on. How many times are you going to have all those thousands of people cheering you and like, you can do it?
Yeah. But I mean, regardless of the Fantasy of Lights or Sleepy Howell or the Balloon Fest or Melon Fest, I see so many people come down there to support the businesses, and we've had so many businesses come in. So it's, great, you being part of that community and having that down there.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm always excited to see how what's gonna happen next year.
Right.
I mean, I'm already plotting and planning. I do. That's my favorite thing is like, what's gonna happen next year? And I had a customer that says, "You're already thinking about that?" And I said, I was thinking about the how many candy or things do we want for the Howell trick or treating? Because we had enough. But next year it's going to be bigger. So it's like, what's the percentage of candy that you're going to need for next year? I'm always thinking.
Yep. Well, you've got to always keep pushing it, because if you're not growing, then you're going the other direction.
Well, and that's, there's always going to be, and that can be scary for small towns. We've always done it this way, or, we can't change. That would be weird. So I think it's, it's great to go in and say, what works, what doesn't. How should we evolve as a community? And, I hear customers, I'm always listening, even, it's eavesdropping, but, they're talking with themselves and they're like, oh, I can't find this, or where should we go for lunch? And I can help them with that. And we have so many people coming from Ohio and Grand Rapids. And I'm always amazed that they're coming to spend the day. Right. In this location. They've picked this location to meet with their friends from St. Clair Shores or coming down from the UP. They'll come down to the UP and they'll spend a day shopping, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then shopping in between. I'm like, that's the best thing, to know that we're making people happy. And
right.
We're a destination.
We are the destination.
Now, I know for the festivals, you get so many people down there, but does your business increase even for the food truck days that they have now?
Yes. I mean, I think anything and everything kind of, if people are downtown, they want the whole experience. They want the whole, where could we eat and what can we do? And this is, so it's, Howell just is really good with events.
Right. Well, even our son, he's a senior this year, and last summer, all of a sudden he realized that they had the music on Friday nights. And I'm like, how did you not know that they had this? But now he has a driver's license.
Yeah.
So he went down there with his friends.
And
our freshman high schooler. I mean, I know that you see there's a lot of kids from the high school that decide to walk downtown every day.
Yes.
And he's one of those kids every once in a while now. So
you're going to have to show me a picture so
there
I
you
can
go.
see who it is.
Or maybe not.
We get a lot of kids. In, and it is fun because you do get to kind of watch them grow up. And I had a customer, and she was young, and I know her friends just because they come in these little groups and they help each other buy stuff, and they oh, smell this soap. This smells amazing. Get this for your mom. And, watching their dynamic, because they're our future shoppers, our future everything, but watching how they shop. And I've been so amazed at sometimes they'll say, oh, I'm short. And then they're all pulling their money together. And I'm like, I don't remember my friends. And I mean, you'd pull your money for gas or something like that. But, she's buying something that she doesn't technically need, but they're like, hey, and, give her $5 for something. I'm like, that's a good friend. So you get to see these dynamics of how they're shopping and how excited they are that they're going to a concert. and, you know, picking up ice cream and, you know, exploring the town. I'll have to see if your son's been in our store.
Maybe they bounce around. We certainly had his senior photos taken down there a lot too.
There's some beautiful places for the photos. I had my daughter's photos done in Howell, and going over by Thompson Lake, and you know, she did a really kind of cool photo spread, and but it's hard to pick a good, you know, there's so many good ones. Right. So how do you pick which ones represent you?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So great. Well, this has been so nice sitting down with you, Kelly, and I have an even better sense of your story, even though I've gone in and shopped and purchased, and but it really is great, and especially this year, if you're out there looking for gifts for people, not sure what to get people, definitely stop by Dragonfly Emporium. I mean, it has something of everything, and it's just so unusual, and even stocking stuffers, or, you know, a little something of maybe, you know, someone you might not have even thought about. You know, it just, when it jumps out like that, it really, that's what it's about.
And it's right in the heart of downtown. So
come check us out.
Yes. And do you have, you know, any details for us to have in the show notes, website?
How do they find you? How do they contact you?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we're on, we have our own website, and the Howell Downtown, the DDA puts us up on stuff. There's a lot of media presence, you know, which is what we want. And then we'll add this to our media presence, and that'll, you know. But yeah, we're open Wednesdays through Saturdays from 10 to 5 and Sundays 10 to 2. And so we stay open, matching like the farmers market and the winter market hours to get people in. And our next event is Ladies' Night, December 8th. That's the last. That's Ladies' Night. Yeah, I was making sure, because I was like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, my calendar Rolodex went. Yeah, because there's been so many fun things going on, and because we had a stocking stuffer crawl, and you know, that was a fun event too. So that'll be bigger and better next year. So and when we're open at night, you know, it's always a lively time, and that's when you came in with Witches Night. Yes. It was when you have so many women.
Wow.
Everybody and then some people come back the next day because they're like, I couldn't see everything. And you're not going to. Yeah. You're not going to in any types of events. So it's nice that during the day, ladies can have lunch and they're like, I'm here to buy this, this, and this because I missed it at the event.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. So great. Well, especially if you've never been there before, definitely it's a must-see to check out downtown. Dragonfly Emporium right on Grand River.
Yeah, so please check it out. Check it out in the show notes. Like and subscribe to our podcast. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at welcometolivingston.com.
Great. And we are on Facebook as well. So definitely like and subscribe.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome to Livingston.